is we can add another form. So go here, add, and this will be a new form, and we can call it form with the capital, let's say form shape match parameters. Okay, and in this parameter, in this form, we can parameterize all these hard-coded values. The image, the target image that we want to select, the threshold value that we want to select, and also if you notice, uh, for the threshold, the area, I fixed it to 1000. So if my objects are bigger, then it might be. So I want to set these values from this form. So this parameter, area parameter, and this threshold parameter, and also as I mentioned here, when we are performing the distance, there are other options also. We have L2, we have L1, I1, I2, I3. So there are different types of contour match types formulas available, so we can update them and we can use them here. So what I will do here is I just like to do those dynamically from this user interface. So let me call it the shape match parameters. Okay, and here what we can do is we can put a menu item, menu strip, and through this menu strip the user will be able to select actually a target image. So inside this one we can give it a title like file. Okay, and inside this I want to have some more collections, and I will do something also. First of all, we will have an image to open. Okay, and we can give it a name like submenu tool strip. I'm just going to copy it and call it open. Okay, and this one is going to be what we call it rotate it. So I want to rotate the image and then see what will be its impact, and we call it rotate. Okay, so let me do something like this. And also for the third one, the text will be scale. So let's scale the image, make it a little bit larger, and then see, and I just name it submenu item strip menu item scale. Okay, and then click OK. So we have those three items in the menu that I just want. Another thing that I need is another panel. Let me add it, and this panel I just want to dock it to the bottom. So let's say dock to the bottom. Okay, and inside it we can use some labels, and this label will be, for example, the distance that we want to use, and another is just for the area, and another one for the threshold value. And then I will put a combo box to select one of these distance values. Here there are three possible values, so we can choose one of them. So a combo box will be the best option here. Okay, the combo box, so let me make it a little bit smaller. And I need two text boxes, one for the area threshold and another combo box for the which threshold. This one is for the distance threshold, so let me name it distance threshold. This one will be area minimum area. Okay, and this one is basically the distance type. Okay, so let me put it like this, and we can align at the bottom. So align, and maybe we can push them a little bit down. and make their sizes also equal, same width and height. Okay, and also distribute their distances horizontally and vertically. Okay, and we also need a button which we will click, of course, and then we will set and apply. Maybe okay, let's do something like this. Okay, this one will become more closer to, okay, this one also here, and then we will click apply button. This apply button, once we apply, we want to see the results. Okay, we will see what we can do. I'm selecting all of them, and instead of this left, I need to put them with the bottom, so they only scale or change themselves according to the bottom. So now I can reduce the size of this as well. Okay, looks okay. Now here I am going to put another panel here, and we can dock it to the parent, and inside it I'm just going to put a picture box. So here is my picture box. Remember that I'm just going to change this size mode to be auto size, so it will change according to the size of the image. And once I do that, if its size is bigger than my existing Windows Forms or this parent, then I want to show it inside the scrolls of the parent. So I need to turn on the auto scroll for the parent panel, and I'm going to select this false thing, to auto scroll to be true. Okay. So we will select an image, and then for the distances, what I need is, there are three distances, so we can call it like I1, I2, and I3. That's it. Okay, and let me call this one to be minimum area text box min area. And let us set this one to be a default text value, and its text should be, let's say, 1000. Okay, and this is, I call it minimum distance TB distance threshold. Okay, and we can set this one's value to be let's say 0.0001, for example. So notice that I use this comma here because the Windows, the default language of this computer is Turkish, and for dot we are using comma. So if you are using the English version of the Windows, then you have to use the appropriate decimal symbol. Okay, so this looks, the design is okay. Now when what I want to do actually, when the user clicks here on the process, and inside this process, when the user clicks on shape, detect shape, then I want to show this form. And from here, when the user clicks the apply, then we can show the results, or call this method, actually call this method, and then show the results. So what I want is, I want to make this method callable from my other object. So to do that, let's do something like what we call it publisher subscriber sort of relationship. So this with this form, I'm just going to first use the using EmguCV, and using EmguCV.structure. Okay, what I'm going to do as a publisher, I want to tell everybody, whoever wants to use this form, just add this event. So first of all, I'm going to change this method a little bit, so that we can also take one more parameter, which I just said that we can also take the area as well. So we can take the third parameter, which I can call it double area. By default we can set it to 1000 here also, so we shouldn't have any problem with the existing code when we are using this default value. Another thing, that contour mesh type, what was that actually? So contour mesh type, I just want to use it here, and we can call it mesh type, and this one should also be like contour mesh type dot, not the contours mesh type. Okay, I use it. Maybe we can, instead of doing this enum here, we can go to the home and use this one like this, using, so that instead of writing it again and again, we can use it again dot. The default I'm going to use is I2. Okay, and these values I need to use inside here. So instead of directly using this one, whichever the user will pass it, I'm going to use that. And also the area that we filter down in this threshold area, instead of putting here, when I calculate the contours, we need to provide this area as parameter as well. So we just provide the second parameter, which is the area here. So whichever the area we provide, so greater than that value will. So now I need to customize my method, and I just need to create a delegate for this method, which consists of all these parameters. So I'm just going to copy all these as it is, and here I'm going to create a public delegate, and you can call anything to this delegate. We can call it delegate apply shape matching, and since it thinks that I could not understand it, so we can use using this emgu.nm and then this. Okay, so I created exactly the same delegate, and also we forgot to write it the void. So we are saying we create a delegate that will be using a method like this with this signature, and you can name anything that you want. And based on this delegate, I can create an event. So event, public event, and this will be delegate applies shape matching, and we can call it on shape detection or shape matching. That is very important. So okay, I write it in the wrong place actually, not in this one. In fact, we can write it here inside our form actually. Okay, so this is what I need to call, and now using this delegate and this event, I can call the method. Okay, so one more thing, that whenever it starts, the default value that I want to select is the second index, in fact. So combo box dot selected index is equal to 0 1. So as I2, I just want to set it as I2, and now it looks okay. And apart from that, what we can do is, we can, when we click on this apply, we need to check if our this event is null. If it is not null, then we can do the processing. So the first thing, the user must select one of the images here. So let's go and look at the event for the open image. So this is menu sub item open, and when I double click on this one, then we are going to read an image and display inside it. So we already did it in the previous, so I'm just going to copy same code and copy it and paste it here. So to read an image, so instead of adding into the dictionary, we are just directly putting it in the picture box. Okay, so we show the image in the picture box. And the next thing that we need to do is, for the rotation and for the scaling, what we can do is, for the scaling, what was the name? We can check it. So menu item, what was the name? When this menu item is clicked, rotate, we want to rotate it, we select it, and I just double click on that. So the first thing that I need is a try case. And now I need to read the image from this picture box 1. So variable img is equal to new bitmap. This is how I can do bitmap. And picture box 1 dot bitmap. So image. Once I have this image in the bitmap form, I can convert it into the image, the Emgu CV structure, and it's of type byte. And as you know, what I want to do here is to rotate it directly. So I can use this rotate. And for rotation, we can give an angle. For example, I want to rotate it with a 15 degree. And it's asked about the background. We can give a different background color, or maybe the same as our foreground, or 255, 255, 255. It is a white background, and that's it. And then we can show it again in the picture box. Dot image is equals to image dot two bitmap. Okay, I will copy the same code and we will do the same thing for the scaling as well. So the scaling menu is what we call it scale. So when we click here, we will scale the image, make it a little larger. So I just copy and paste it. So instead of this rotate, I'm going to resize it. And resize will ask these two parameters. Let's say we increase it by 1.25, so it will be a little bit bigger. So interpolation dot, we want a cubic for better quality, and again show the image over there. Okay, so that is done. And now we will select an image, display that image, and we will have these parameters which we will change. And then when we click, remember that I want to call this method. Where was that method? This apply shape. And to call this method, I will pass it as an event here and in the delegate. So once the delegate knows which method to be passed, we can use it over here. So we can read the image from the picture box. So I call it img is equal to new bitmap. Okay, and the picture box one dot image, and then we can convert it into an Emgu CV structure, bgr comma byte. And as we know, we have three parameters. So let's say that for the distance, what we can do is contours match type, we can call it the match type is equal to, by default we can select contours match type dot I. Okay, and then there are three possibilities. The other two are also there, so we can use a switch statement, switch, and inside the switch we can use combo box one dot selected index. Whichever the index has been selected, accordingly we can select the match type. So if it is 0 index, and then match type will be, I can copy all this from here to here. If it is the 0 and the 0th index, we have I1, and then we can say break. Okay, and I can copy it and then paste. So if it is 1, what we will do, if it is 2, what we will do, then it means it will be 2, and then it will be 3. That is the only thing that we need to do. So we will select one of the distances, and then the minimum area, we need to convert it into a double. So I can create double area is equal to, which we can call it area threshold is equal to, we can say 1000. By default I set it to 1000, and then we can convert double dot try parse text box minimum area dot text, and is output area threshold. Okay, so what try parse will do is it will try to parse this one, and if there is any exception, then it will return the default value of this threshold. So, and similarly we can do for the other threshold as well. And double threshold is equal to 0.001, let's say, and we can also double parse it. Dot try parse in the text box this distance threshold, and we can out in the threshold value. Okay, sorry, it's the text value that I want to threshold, and that's it. So we have now the threshold, we have the area threshold, we have the mesh type parameter, which exactly we set as parameters, and this image will also, we have this image also in our hand, because this is the image exactly that we will send it to this method. So once the parameters, dynamic parameters are ready, we can call that method. So what we can do, if I just want to check if my on shape matching is not equal to null, it means that the user has created the object and provided this event with some method. Then we can call it on shape matching. Then we can just call it. As you can see, since it is based on the delegate that we have used, it is asking for an image. So the template that we want to match is img. The next parameter is the threshold. This is the distance threshold. So we have the threshold. Okay. The next parameter is the area threshold. So area threshold, and what kind of contour match that you want to perform. So with the match contours. So this one will call back this method from over there, and then it will do the same thing that we have done. Now we, instead of calling this method, which I initially did it for testing, what I will do here is I will just call create an object of this form and call this one, and that's it. So we can create an object of this form over here. So what I will do is form shape matching form is equal to new form shape matching. Okay, and then we can show this form dot. And one more thing that I want to do is I just want to show it on top, so that even though if we are with the form, we want to show it topmost is equal to true. I'm just going to set it to true. Let us run, and by the way, I forgot it. So now in this situation, I did not set the event here, actually, this event, that which method to call. I need to tell that this is the method that I should be calling. This is the method that I should be calling. So before showing it, form dot plus on shape matching. This is an event, so we are adding an event, and I need to provide this method. Yes, one thing I also realized that we should make this check before we do anything here, so that we must have an image with us. And also the same thing goes here. When we click on the button, we make sure that our picture box is not null. So if picture box one dot image equals null, then we can say throw new exception, and we can say select a template image. Okay, and then we can run and test it. We can open an image, so I just click on this open, and then we can check it. So we have this image, source image, and then we are going to shape, click on this process. So now it is clicking it. By the way, it started here. We should start this form over there rather than on here. So I will also put the starting position to be right here, and then we can open a template that we want. Is, for example, I want to search perform the shape-based searching on this image, and these are the distance type, and this is the perimeter. In fact, I write it I2 two times, it doesn't matter, I will change it. And this is the minimum area, and then I click on apply. So this is the default result with these default values. Now you can see that this looks like a circular object, but it did not match with this rectangular object, but with the circular objects it is matching. So if I increase the threshold, and if we come to the actual stop sign, it is the distance is 0 0. So if I increase the threshold to be a little bit more, let's say, and then when I click on apply, now you can see that it completely changed the scenario. So the only matching that we have is just right over here, so it is matching with 1. But the interesting thing, what will happen if these are exactly the same? What will happen if we rotate it a little bit? Okay, let's say, and then I apply it. Now you see the matching is not exactly zeroed. Some matching has happened, but still the shape-based matching actually fit with the exact target. So it is, I can say, better than the template matching in this scenario. And if we do the scaling also, I increase the scale. Is it scale invariant also? So I did the scaling as well as the rotation, for example, and then apply it. So you can see that again this one has performed really good. So let me rotate it a little bit, but it will make no difference actually. Let me do something like this. So you can see here it is again doing perfectly for this scenario. One thing, the last thing that I just want to do is, for example, if we do with this second one, if we change it, so you can see the distance, the formula, due to change in formula, the distance, the way it is calculated is changing. And you can see I will change this one to I3 actually. So two things. Lastly, I will want to make change here is to start this position to be right here, and also change this combo box to be I3. So let me go, and first of all, I forget that this one should be in the items. We can change it to this I3. So okay, and if I want to start it at the right top corner, then what I can do here after this, inside this constructor, the start position for this form will be form start position dot, I want to set it to be manual. So don't forget this line if you want to change it. I need the X position. Where I want to show the X, where should be the X position of this form, is I'm going to get the screen that, and this my primary screen, whatever my laptop or whatever the working screen I need to get, working area dot right position, and from that right position I need to subtract the Windows forms, this one size, so width of my form. And we can also do a threshold like subtract 20, margin, keep a margin. In fact, I can write a margin is equal to 20. Okay, a little more space I want to give, so this will be my X. Similarly for Y, we can do something like this: screen dot primary screen dot working area dot top. It should be 0, I guess. So even I don't need it, should be 0. But anyways, wherever the top it is, top should always be 0, I believe. Margin. With that one, I'm going to add a margin, and then the location of my form will be, the initial location will be a new point with this X and the Y. Okay, so that will be the final line of code that I want to have. And then I open an image, and let's say I open this image, and then shape matching. Now you can see it is right here on top on the left side, and then you can also apply whatever you want to do in the same way as we did before. and we can change these values to see if there is any match. Okay, so that will give you an idea how we can perform the shape-based matching using EmguCV. Hope to see you in another video.